You know, we hear the word tolerance thrown around constantly, but what if we've been thinking about it all wrong? What if it's not about just passively putting up with stuff, but an active, powerful tool for real strength? Today, we're going to dig into tolerance and maybe see it as a kind of hidden superpower. Let's dive in.
So let's just be honest for a second. When somebody tells you to be more tolerant, does a little part of you here be weak or just give in? It's a super common reaction. But what if that gut instinct is just wrong? What if true tolerance is actually a sign of some serious strength? That's the big question we're really going to tackle here.
Okay, so check out this quote. It really flips the script. It frames tolerance not as something you have, but as something you do. It's a conscious choice. You're actively deciding to rise above the noise, to accept differences, and to build bridges. See, this isn't about giving up or rolling over. It's a strategic choice, a powerful move to build something better.
All right, so if we're running with this idea of a conscious choice, we need to get a little more specific. Let's nail down what true tolerance really is, and, just as important, what it's not. So here's the bedrock definition. It's the ability to accept other people exactly as they are, respecting their beliefs, their opinions, their behaviors, even when they are completely different from your own. And that last bit, that is absolutely crucial. This is not about pretending to agree with everybody. It's about respecting their right to be who they are. And honestly, that's the starting point for fixing relationships instead of just watching them fall apart.
And this, right here, really lays it all out. On one side, you've got true tolerance, which is all about respect, understanding, and strength. But on the other, you've got these common misconceptions, that it's just weakness, or giving in, or, well, not caring at all. We've got to ditch those ideas. This isn't about indifference. It's actually about caring enough to make the effort to understand.
All right, so we've got our definition down. But let's be real. What's the bottom line here? What's in it for you? Why should you even bother with this kind of active tolerance? Well, it turns out the personal payoff is pretty huge.
Benefit number one, and this is a big one, inner peace. Holding on to anger and resentment is like lugging a heavy, jagged backpack with you everywhere you go. It's exhausting. Tolerance is basically choosing to set that heavy backpack down. It just frees up so much of your mental and emotional energy, and that leads directly to less stress and, well, more peace.
Okay, next up, your relationships. This is a total game changer. Think about it. When you can genuinely respect someone, even if you completely disagree with them, you're building a connection that's way more solid, way more real. You're making a conscious choice to build a bridge instead of a wall. It's as simple as that.
And here's another thing. Practicing tolerance, it's like taking your emotional intelligence to the gym. You build up your self-control, right? Because you're actively choosing not to just fly off the handle. You're building empathy by trying to see things from their side. And all of that just makes you more self-aware.
And number 4, believe it or not, productivity. I mean, just think of all the energy we waste being angry or getting stuck in pointless arguments. So when you choose tolerance, you're not just dodging a fight. You're literally taking all that wasted energy and pointing it back towards your own goals, your own growth. You're focusing on what actually matters.
Okay, so the personal benefits are pretty clear, right? But this thing scales, big time. So now, let's pull the camera back and look at the bigger picture. Because tolerance isn't just a nice little personal habit, it's pretty much the social glue that keeps everything from falling apart.
The first massive impact, social stability. It's pretty straightforward. In communities where tolerance is the norm, you just see less conflict. When people from all different walks of life can coexist without constant fighting, the whole society just becomes more stable, more peaceful. And building right on top of that, think about national unity. When people feel like they're accepted, like they're respected, they feel like they belong, and that feeling, it creates a much deeper sense of loyalty, of unity. It's about making sure everyone feels like they're on the same team, you know?
Now this next one is really interesting. Tolerance is basically the fuel for progress. Why's that? Well, because it opens the door for creativity, for real dialogue, for all kinds of different ideas to mix together. The biggest breakthroughs in history, whether in science or art, they almost never come from a room where everyone agrees. They come from new ideas bumping up against old ones in a way that's respectful.
And last but not least, tolerance acts like a powerful circuit breaker for violence. Think of those endless, destructive cycles of revenge. While societies that value forgiveness and understanding are way less likely to get stuck in them, it's a deliberate choice to pick peace over aggression, and that has a real, measurable effect on reducing violence and crime.
So, the case for tolerance is pretty strong, right? For us as individuals and for us as a whole.
So the obvious question is, how do we get more of it? How do we actually do this? Let's break down 4 practical ways we can start to build this strength in our world.
Okay, so here's a 4-part game plan. First up, it has to start with education. We've got to teach these values early on. Second, we need positive role models, people who actually walk the walk and show us what tolerance looks like. Third, the media has a massive responsibility here to promote understanding instead of just fanning the flames of division. And finally, all of this needs to be backed up by fair laws that make sure everyone is protected from discrimination. You really need all 4 pieces working together for it to stick.
So let's bring it all the way back to that first question we asked. Is tolerance a weakness? I mean, after all this, the answer has to be a hard no. It's not some passive, nice-to-have thing. It's the foundation for our own well-being and for a healthy society. Let's just say it plain. True tolerance is strength.
And that really leaves us with one last powerful idea to chew on. Our differences don't have to be battle lines. They can actually be opportunities to create something better, like harmony and genuine understanding. So I'll just leave you with this one question to take with you. What's one difference in your life right now that you could turn into an opportunity for harmony today? Something to think about. Thanks for joining me.